Hello, I am Anne, I am on, and welcome to my YouTube channel. The only channel proven to reduce acne by up to 39% after only 3 watches, according to clinical trials. And also spoilers for BDSP in case anybody cares. Let it be known that me and the Pokemon Company have beef, no Miltank, but they did milk me for $60. Pokemon Company is not seeing the pearly gates, instead they will be seeing me. Youth. That's right! On November 19th of this hell year 2021, the Pokemon Company dropped this. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, aka BDSP, aka Bad Doodoo Stupid Game. I'm just kidding, but the audacity of them to release this next to Arceus Legends. Jail. And in case it wasn't already obvious, in this video I will be using abbreviations for games, so DPs, Diamond Pearl, BDSPs, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, you get it. DP was my first ever Pokemon game. I know, I didn't have a Game Boy growing up. And of course I have a Snorlax ton of nostalgia for DP. Yes, we will be doing bad Pokemon jokes, so shuckle up. I live and died for this game. I have well over 1,000 hours on my original save slot. I don't know how that's even possible. Like what, the core game takes 20 hours to complete? I didn't even complete the Pokedex. What could I have been doing? As you can tell, I love that game, and it would lead me to play every core series game after that. And sorry to the previous core games, I don't know them. What you say? Now, a big turning point for me was when they announced the remakes of Gold and Silver. Girl, this is the first core game remake that I've been around for. 10 years after the first one came out, keep that in mind for later. These remakes are a close second favorite to my precious DP, Dominican Republic. So good, but the significance of this is it made me realize, oh my god, someday DP's gonna get remakes. BW2 in particular is very important on the journey of me getting the DP because bestie, those graphics nearly made me cry. The fucking flying ship, iconic. Team Plasma had the budget. I remember thinking to myself, there's no way they can top this in the next game. I was absolutely on the floor fighting for my life like the Magic Carpet Lake Valor. RIP to them though. Then they dropped Pokemon XY. Unbelievable. Pokemon Company, I consider that an attempt on my life. Bestie, I blacked out and they had to drag my fat ass to the Pokemon Center. XY is significant because it reinforced how pumped I was for a DP remake because I was so excited for it to look something like that. And then they continued the trend of semi-realistic graphics getting slightly better with each generation. Like, say what you want about recent games, but it's amazing to see how far they've come graphically since the first game they ever dropped. Now, 2016 was fast approaching at this point, aka 10-year anniversary of the drop of Diamond and Pearl. And of course they're gonna drop Sinnoh remakes on the 10-year anniversary. Like, how could you pass up on all that hype when you... Pokemon Sun and Moon. Such a letdown, considering what we were looking forward to. Although I do like those games because I grew up in Hawaii. But still, we were kind of bummed because we had the audacity to think. So then everybody thought, oh, it's gonna be next year. Okay then. Now they dropped the Switch, which was very exciting because now the remakes could be on the This is the point at which I started sending threatening letters directly to Nintendo because bitch, and the Let's Go games should never be talked about. In my canon, they don't exist. Unbeknownst to us, it would be another 3 years. We started to think it would never come, as the image of Sinnoh grew foggier and foggier behind us. Then, with the sunrise of February 21st, 2021, it finally happened. The time had come. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was announced, the official remake of DP. My panties were on the floor. Until I saw the game previews and dried up like the Sahara, cause bestie, what the fuck is this? This? My Joker moment. Or no, my Mr. Mime moment. Ha, okay, let's move on. Like, what if this had been my last straw? Now I was hoping and praying for a Sonic 2020 moment that the backlash against it would make them change the style of the game, although I know this was wishful thinking, because obviously they're not going to try and change up how a game looks 8 months before it drops. I quickly cycled through the stages of grief until I reached bartering. I thought that maybe, just maybe, only the overworld would look like this, but then cutscenes would be rendered more in the style that the battle scenes are rendered in. Would have been nice. It was truly tragic to watch the hype immediately die down into roasting how the game looked. Which, fun fact, me and my friends, shout out to them, watched a Pokemon movie, the Zoro one, before these games were announced, and we happened to pause at this moment. Did we predict Compact Dawn? We may never know. However, Nintendo, run us a check. Now with that brief, not so brief recap out of the way, let's move on to the critique. It won't all be bad. At the end of the video, I'll cover a few things I like, because despite popular belief, this game wasn't awful to play. Keep that in mind. Chapter 1, graphic design is my passion. Now, I already talked about the graphics, but here's where we go a little bit more into detail. So, allegedly, the reason they wanted to do this style was for the sake of nostalgia. Because as you can see, this game is basically just a direct 3D translation of the original game. Whoever pitched this idea is forever at risk of encountering me. Now, in all technicality, they succeeded on that front. It does look like a 3D translation of the original 2D graphics. But bestie, why the fuck? I think they might have been influenced by the remake of Link's Awakening, but it feels like they did Link's Awakening better. And maybe it's because I didn't play the original Link's Awakening, so I don't have the nostalgia for it to be mad. It feels like they did the chibi style better with that. So what the fuck happened to BDSP? We already had core game remakes before this. In particular, I'll reference Aura's because it's the first one that was translated from 2D graphics into 3D graphics. It's much more realistic relative to the bit graphics of old. And that's the point. You take the newest graphics or whatever and use it to make the new thing. That's the whole point of remaking. And also a fat stack of cash, I guess, but that's not what we're talking about right now. The Pokemon company said, no. It's gotta be nostalgic. It would be nostalgic no matter what, Nintendo. You have me so Sorry, I'm most passionate about the graphics. I promise for other sections I won't be this mad. And this is probably also going to be the longest section by far. Look, I get what they were going for. I totally get it. It just doesn't make sense. Now, I don't know if it actually is easier or cheaper to make a game look like this than say what they made Sword and Shield look like, but it just feels cheaper. I go as far to say it feels a little bit lazy. The whole game feels like when you see a cool playset on TV as a kid, but then when you finally get it, it's like super cheap plastic and a really bad paint job. That's this game. Now, I wouldn't be so mad about these graphics if it weren't the first time that they used these graphics to remake other games. Is there not nostalgia for other games that look semi-similar to DP? Like Sapphire Ruby came out only a few years before DP, and you can see it in the graphical quality being kind of similar. And these weren't fully stylistic choices. These were more so graphical limitations of the time. So making the graphics look like this after so many years of upping the ante, it just feels like a big cop-out. And especially with the cutscenes being in the chibi 3D style, it looks so ridiculous. Like, this man is telling me how he's gonna summon a god to control the world? And I'm supposed to take him seriously? This manlet? Pokemon Company, how do you expect me to feel? And also a quick ad for this section. I'm not going to go into super details about it, but there were so many glitches in the original release. And I'm not usually a person who notices small glitches. I'm very ignorant to that kind of stuff. So the fact that I noticed it, I'm like, I can't even imagine what's happening that I'm not noticing. Like, it really just feels like they didn't give a rat's ass about making this game. And I was talking to a friend about it, and they were like, they probably just dropped this game to get people to shut up about Sinnoh remakes. And honestly, I think they're right, because it feels like that. It's as if it was just like disrespectfully slapped down in front of us and been like, there, happy? And no, Nintendo, I'm not. 2. Chapter 2. The sound of running into an object haunts my nightmares. Sorry in advance if I've been using the wrong video game terminology. I don't know enough about video game development, so if you don't get it, you don't get it. I'll do my best. In line with the graphics and their alleged nostalgia, I noticed that they stuck to a very linear control scheme, and this will prove to be a fatal mistake. Linear controls were of course a thing in the original game because the original DSs had D-pads, so it made a lot of sense back then for the running to be linear because that's all you could do. This just doesn't work very well when you can move in a 3D space. In the original games, you could only fit in one square at a time. You couldn't be halfway between two squares or in the smack dab in the middle of 4. Think of it kind of like how you edit your house in Animal Crossing. Again, sorry, I don't know the game terminologies for these things, but one step of your character is moving from square 1 to square 2. Small boulders only took up 1 square of space, yada yada. Of course, this is a thing in 3D too, but it's very specifically mapped out. Where you could or couldn't go was very obvious in DP because you could tell how you shaped up next to an opening just by standing next to it. In this one, I find those boundaries are a lot less clear, and that leads me to running into objects a lot more often. This is a fucking nightmare when running between small spaces. I find this problem most prominent in the underground caverns that you find when you go digging. I can't tell you how many times I'm being chased by a Pokemon and I try to run through the little crevices of the rock and get stuck and attacked. Hello? Did anybody playtest this? And this is mostly the fault of the design of the world still being kind of similar to that, like taking out these little squares. But since it's in 3D, the objects are a lot more detailed. The boundaries of what they take up as far as space is not as clear. And I think that leads to running into edges a lot because you don't even realize that the edge is part of the structure because there's nothing there. Ooh. This is so much more frustrating, especially when you're using the joystick control when you can move in diagonal spaces. And yes, the Switch has a D-pad, but it's really uncomfortable to use the D-pad. There's a reason the joystick is placed up top because they know that's the one that you're going to use the most. Nintendo. Look, this might just be a personal problem. Maybe nobody else is struggling with this, but this is my personal video, so it's a big issue. Also, the controls feel really delayed when you're using the D-pad. I don't know if anybody else noticed that or even cares. So overall, very frustrating to move around in this game. And especially with the lack of assistance with the camera angle change. You can see it in like pictures side by side that the new one is slightly lower, and that leads to a lot more confusion because now it's even more unclear where the boundaries of the objects lies. Oh my god. And also in line with the linear controls, say you're running right in the game and you make a sudden turn left. It's a very sudden movement because your character instantly turns, and it's just so jarring, and it just makes it look like the game's lagging when it's not. It's ugly. Why would they do this? It just really serves to cheapen the game. I am fighting for my life right now. TLDR, these linear controls are very tedious to use in the new 3D space. Take a shot every time I've said 3D. You won't survive to see what I like about this game. Chapter 3. Remember what they took from you. This is the worst thing by far. Nintendo, this was a nasty, cruel move on your part. You've not only robbed me, but an entire generation. You took not only my money, but my hopes and dreams. They removed the game corner. Jail. Okay, I know they don't want to promote gambling to kids and they'd have to change the rating or whatever, but can't kids have a gambling addiction as a treat? Cancel culture's gone way too far. Chapter 4. I nearly failed math. Okay, this isn't a complaint about the remake in particular because they had this in the original game too. Why does Fantina give you math homework? Nintendo, I have dyscalculia. Do you want me to cry? Because I will. All right, that was all the major stuff that I didn't like. See, it wasn't that bad. And now we've gotten to the stuff that I do like. Allegedly. So let's get into that. The graphics. Bet you didn't see that one coming. As much as I don't think the graphics fit with the remake, doesn't mean they're bad graphics. It's still a really cute game. I did find myself multiple times going aw at my character and other characters because they're all just so dang cute. Compressed Dawn may not have been what we wanted, but she is adorable. The underground is absolutely spectacular. Knocked it out of the fucking park. Truly the only thing that's been upgraded since the original game. Yes, good for you. I was super bummed when they took away the ability to see Pokemon running in the grass in the overworld, so I'm really glad that they added this in because it's fun to see them run around. Albeit those Pokemon are fucking aggressive. The Mew, it caught me completely by surprise. I wish I had gotten my reaction on camera because my chin is bruised from where it hit the floor, besties. I also enjoyed the Jirachi and Manaphy, but I googled the Mew after I found it, and that's how I found out about the Manaphy and the Jirachi, so it's a good thing I googled it or else I might not have gotten them. Are we keeping up? The water graphics, in particular in these areas, so gorgeous. Like genuinely some of the best water graphics I've seen in any game. They're like super clear and really fluid, which I guess is the point. I love them. All the inside floors are super duper shiny. Actually, I can't tell if I like or hate this, but they committed to the bit. I gotta respect it. Now when you surf or fly, you can see the Pokemon that you are riding on. And I think that's a really cute detail to include instead of them being weird shadow demons from the 5th dimension. And this is something that was in the previous game, I'm sure, but I think it's hilarious that your character keeps forgetting Lucas's dad. Sorry to this man. It's really funny. And that's it. As a bonus, my final rating for BDSP is 6.5. Is it an unplayable game? No, of course not. It's still the original game, albeit a little too close to the original game, but I digress. Oh, and I should have said this at the beginning, but this is completely a review of the main game, like up to the point that you beat the Pokemon League, because that's the point that I've gotten up to as of making this video. I know there's more after. I'm not touching on that. because I haven't gotten to it yet. It's a little hard to play this game. It's an emotional wound. It'll take a while to heal. So what did you think about BDSP? Did you agree with my opinions, or do you hate me and are you going to send me death threats? Make sure they're in MLA format. Do you hate that I don't know a lick of video game terminology? I don't care. But the first two things that I pitched, you should tell me in the comments. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day, night, or other. Bye-bye. I wanna be the very best that no one ever was.